Exactly. Hey, hello everyone. Very nice to meet you again. So today is a bit of a special day. So first, apologies for the delays, but as most of you guys know, we have now been had very big news, very a lot of waves yesterday. So we decided to take the time, collect more feedback, collect more questions to be able to hold today's call, which is about us answering a lot of the feedback, the questions, us talking to you about a lot of the things that happened recently. So we have here Adley that I'm sure you saw every time with me. So Adley, very nice to see you again.
Hello, everyone.
Uh, so first thing, what I just mentioned had a lot of news, and in particular, we had an article and a lot of tweets yesterday. Could you tell us a bit more about what's in this article? What does it mean?
Yeah, the logic of this article was to give some clarity, not like your webcam right now, on the next step. And yeah, because there was a Binance announcement, and we made another announcement on our side to make all things clear about what's going on for the next step. So, and about Binance. So everybody needs to understand that the Binance allocation are totally separated. We didn't change the allocation for the airdrop. We even had some bonuses, 1% bonuses on it, but the allocation of Binance, the 7.5% is totally separated, and there is 8.5% for the airdrop. And there is 1% that had been added as a bonus for believers, people that will stay till the end. And we also have some why the numbers on Binance announcement and ours seem strange, because if you add the numbers on day one, it seems that there is no full airdrop. It's because a little part, like less than 1% of people, will not have their full airdrop day one because they are too big in certain way, and we want to keep some fairness. So 99% of users should be fully liquid at launch. We cannot have the full data right now because the Pills campaign is not end right now. So even us doesn't have the final statistics, and it should be something like that. And the good stuff is that the launch pool has started. Everybody can participate. You just have to participate with FDUSD or with BNB. There is already more than 1.5 million person, I guess, something like that participate in the launch pool. So it seems that it's a big success right now, and we hope the number we keep grow, and that the most a huge number of person will have access to usual token and will hear about usual. In general, also in this article, we explain a little bit the next steps, because the Pills campaign is extending a little bit, because there was that announcement that was in the air and we were waiting for it, and we also prefer to take some time on the tech to deliver the best product we can for the launch. And so it will be the transition will be at the end of November, where we will switch to usual distribution, but you will not be able to move that distribution because there will be pre-market at that time. And when the listing will happen mid-December, you will be able to move your usual tokens that you had earned on that period, because each USD0++ will start earning usual like it will be in the whole life of the protocol. So it's very important to understand that there is not a single moment where having a USD0++ give you nothing. It's the goal of the usual protocol is to be always yielding asset in certain way, and USD0++ is a productive asset of usual protocol. So it will always have some yield. You will be also able at that moment to have a checker to check all your pills of the Pills campaign and what will be the amount you should have at the airdrop. And the goal for that is to give transparency to users and the abilities to check their amount if there is some like miss in the computation or stuff like that. So everybody will be able to check. And yeah, it's mainly that the next steps are very exciting, because like we are starting the the full project, I would say. This is a very tremendous, I would say, like era for us, because it's the era where we will discover the true yield of USD0++, and the goal was to create a protocol that had a sustainable and interesting yield for everyone that holds stablecoin, because it's our mission to decentralize the stablecoin issuer business and the stablecoin issuer logics. And for that, we think that we need to have a model and tokenomics that are sustainable and that will work for long. Yeah, it's mainly about that. Can only say to you, go read the article because you have more details in it on this next step. And clearly, the goal for us was to clearly let people know what they need to know on the Pills campaign, Binance listing, pre-market, launch pool, etc., etc., and you will find all the information there.
So for everyone that hasn't read the article, it should be live on our blog. It's the latest one. Just go usual.money and then the blog. Navbar, otherwise just check on our X accounts. It was there yesterday. We do have one interesting question, Laplace, I want to answer. Maybe is the ratio between Pills and usual token. As Adi just said, we don't quite know yet, but there will be a checker coming very, very soon where you'll be able to see that. But otherwise, I mean, as always in DeFi, you can do your own calculation. And you know how many usuals there are, how many there will be for the airdrop campaign, the max multiplier, the amount of Pills right now, though there will be a bit more from there. And you feel free to do yours, but I've done a bit. I've checked also some of the unofficial pre-markets. Maybe you want to talk about it, sadly, but we've already had very, very good follow-up with a number of other exchanges we will get very soon. And that looks really interesting. Like, I'm very excited to be farming that. Now, on that, I just mentioned there's already a couple of unofficial pre-markets, but how did that happen? Well, Binance. I want to say why. Why go on Binance? Why did you decide to start with them? What happened?
It's all about growth of the protocol. It's all about exposure. It's all about liquidity. It's all about, being available to the biggest number. And we really think that Binance, in certain way, being listed on Binance, add more value than the allocation that Binance had for the protocol. So we think that the pie is growing bigger and more bigger than the little share of the pie that was given in certain way. And that the bet of the initial contributor of Usual we are in the same boat. We want the project to succeed, and we think that it's the best way to have the project succeed, because it gives a lot of advantages also for big players that want to enter, for little players that has no access to DeFi or difficult access to DeFi, to be able to be exposed to Usual token. So yeah, it was mainly a strategic choice, and we think that Binance is a great partner for the long time, because right now it's still the number one actor in the crypto market. And yeah, Launchpool is like, you can imagine that having 1 million people just seeing the project is already great, because they already register, and on Launchpool it's true people, because there is KYB, KYC. So it's something that is big for us, because we had like 40k user. Maybe we'll have 200, 300 on chain after at the airdrop or when it will launch, because of that. And we think that it's very important, and it already brings us a lot of stuff, and you will discover all that in the next months and next weeks. And I see one question about the utility of Usual token. You have an article on that also on our blog, but the utility of Usual token is mainly to have a relationship with the revenue of the protocol, is also to be able to govern the protocol, to use Gauge, to have specific services like one staking and stuff like that. So the goal for us is to make the Usual token the core of the protocol, and there is like no private company that had some shares in the Usual protocol. All the value goes to the token, and that's the first goal. So there is like utility values that will come from Gauche, from special action you can do with usual token. But the main value is because of the fundamental of the usual protocols that accumulate yield and revenue. Sorry, and for sure you will have also governance right and transitionary governance and decentralization.
For anyone that wants to know, this article, I think, is called "Usual Where Yield Meets Growth." It's an article that we had like a bit over a month ago now, I think.
Yeah,
it's very interesting read, right? A lot of things in there. We had a number of educational articles. So we had the future of banking also. I would recommend reading, and then obviously our Gitbook. So I know there's a lot of new people that just recently joined following the Binance announcement. So again, another extra exposure, another reason to go to Binance. We're getting a lot more attention, a lot more people that joined. I would really recommend reading all these. Is really good reads. And as you mentioned, yeah, there's like over, I think, 1.5 million new users. I mean, just that alone is already like great exposure. And I mentioned we even had already some kind of unofficial, as in they never really talked to us, pre-markets following Binance. So just, yeah, I mean, personally think that was a really, really good choice. We get a lot more users that couldn't get on the DeFi because of, ETH gas fees are pretty high. And the extra percentage, I think you mentioned already, but this is extra from Binance, but that was not taken from the PS campaign. It's just we're giving more, we're getting more people, getting more exposure, we're getting listed on the top exchange, getting more exchanges. I mean, yeah, makes sense for me. Now, we already saw something about the peg. I mean, obviously, we are a stablecoin protocol with the Bliss campaign coming very, very soon, and then us, as you said, switching from the Bliss campaign to seeing the real growth, the real start of the project. This is still a transitionary period, as you mentioned. It's how we're gonna maintain the peg, like what's going to happen for USD0
as always.
As
always, USD0 is peg simply because it's redeemable and mutable 24/7/7. So there is arbitrageurs that maintain the peg and market makers. And on the USD0 plus, we have a right now during this transitionary period there will be some 1-1 guarantee, a little bit less, like 30 bips, and this will guarantee the peg, and there is also the par mechanism that was used. The DAO can unlock USD0 and so make the pool at balance it again, and it was used several times. You can check that on our Morpho thread, because it was mentioned as a risk analysis for the Morpho Vault. And there will be like a lot of liquidity, and there still be a lot of liquidity. So all that mechanism should keep the USD0 peg. And for the moment, as you can see, it was always peg, and we had very, very small deviation, like 30 bips or 50 bips maximum on very short period during like the crash of August of the yen, etc., where there was a Black Monday, and during the big pendulum expiry of our first pendulum market that was like 150 million, and at that moment some people just exited their USD0 position because it was just yielding the pendulum fixed yield and go on pendulum, because right now we also have a new maturity that is great. So I can recommend you to go on pendulum and see that.
Yeah, it's also pretty good. A lot of people bought YT, so if you want to go for PT, or they still go for YT, because YT right now is double pills, and after that you get usual yield. So it's a premium, first yield you're gonna get. Pendle, it's gonna be amazing. And they say, there's a number of times that we had really good peg. I remember in August, what you mentioned, a lot of other protocols actually had really bad pegs, even bigger protocols than us. We were one just like amongst the best for that. Even yesterday, some people, there was some volatility. We were really good on that peg. Now, for those that follow us, you might have heard us sometimes mention some V something for the dApps. We actually have, so what we call for the new dApps that's coming for this transition period is V1. we have been pretty secretive, I want to say, about that one. Not a lot of information, not a lot of screenshot, etc. Are we finally going to see some things or not in this thing called V1?
Yeah. You will see the V1. Very exciting because we have put a lot of effort to keep not interesting UI and UX, and the V1 will show the path for the future of usual, I would say, in terms of UX and UI. And there will be some sneak peeks that will start on next week's. We'll show a little bit the new interface, the new logics that the V1 will bring, and we are very exciting to give that to all of you. And it will also be the end of the gate, because usual is gated right now, and it will not be gated anymore.
Be free entry for these 1.5 million users from Binance now. Everyone is welcome. And how about the drugstore? Because the drugstore, drug for the pills, it was something made specifically for that pills campaign. How is it going to work? How is it going to...
No, on V1, there is no drugstore anymore. You have your pills amounts that will display, because during that period, you will have the airdrop, etc. So you need to have your pills. But when we will switch, that you will be able to follow your position in a specific area that will not be the drugstore anymore. But yeah, that will be the earn section basically of the dApp, and you will be able to see all that position, the yield in usual that it gives you, etc., like basically the drugstore right now, but in a more standard way.
And basically, you'll be able to see the entire usual ecosystem. That's really one thing I like about the way we're doing is sometimes it's a bit hard for trying to figure out for some other protocols. Yeah, they got this, that. You need to go on other external parties to try to figure out some things. For us, everything's going to be very easy, very simple. You go on that page. This is where you get some of the yield revenue that we offer. You get all
and the claim for sure that you will be able to do
claim
after the listing. And the other.
Now, USD0++. We talked about it before. How's it gonna work after the runner is giving the
it
pills?
Will be the same as now. Our goal is to make the more integration we can. There will be most of the integration we have done in pills campaign will be live in V1. We have made integration for all those protocols, etc. And we'll continue to make integration, but it's a process that will be one by one in certain way. At the moment, we need to do all that integration, or to ask the team to provide us a way of integrating well the tracking, because we really want to keep that claim bearing token structure where the price of the token is still one, and you are able to claim some reward compared to even if you are other place in certain way in DeFi, compared to yield bearing that change in price, and so deviate from the original asset. For example, Rapid Stake ETH is no more the price of 1 ETH. It's a little bit more, and it's a little bit disturbing and not so practical in terms of UX. That's why we try to have something that is claim bearing, but it has some technical challenge, and at the moment we have to make that tracking, and we are hoping in the end we will find a standard way of doing it that will be more straight to the point and totally agnostic without the need of integrating this tracking. So but it will work the same way. You will have your USD0++, but you will be able to collect every day the yield of your USD0++. That's the goal.
So we're still gonna have the same idea with the naked USD0++ on Ethereum or Arbitrum giving you yields, and then partnerships which hopefully gives you extra opportunity, get extra points, extra other things.
And yeah, we also have some interesting mechanism. We'll explain later about USD0++ and how there will be possibilities on getting back to USD0 directly to unstake in certain ways this USD0++ before the end of the maturity at 1.1. And clearly, this will also bring value to usual the token and usual the protocol, and we always try to keep that alignment, and all this will be precise in next white papers, articles, social media posts, etc.
Awesome. For the PL's conversion ratio, we already answered that case, and you could do also very easy calculations now that you have all that data. I'm gonna go.
For the pills, simply as the pills campaign is
very
not
simple.
finished, we cannot anticipate the future data, so we cannot anticipate the conversion ratio. And this
Yeah.
will be published at the end of the pills campaign, so end of November, and little bit after there will be an airdrop checker where you will be able to see the conversion rate and your allocation.
Exactly. Like you can make educated guesses, but like we can't, for as we said, we say on-source data. What about future plans for usual? Like we keep mentioning about the transition period. This is coming. This is the way it's gonna work. Is there anything in the future that we can discuss? About some of the expansion?
Yeah. We'll clearly continue to integrate USD0++ in new protocol, but there will be also new product. We want to add yield capacity on USD0++ with the possibility of earning yield from some others protocol, and so boost the yield. We will also soon develop E0 and BTC0 that will be synthetic asset like USD0, but based on BTC and based on ETH. So the same way, the goal is to give a yield and a productive yield to those assets using underlying like LST, LRT of ETH and BTC. And yeah, we really want to continue to expand services, to expand assets. We'll also work on a lot of revenue logic, giving more value to usual, like we say with Gauge and stuff like that, but also some V-tokenomics. We don't have V-tokenomics, but we will talk about that very soon. But we want to have a kind of lock logic for usual that will allow people to have more right or more revenue. And yeah, the goal is to always find way of having the best alignment and the best growth for everybody.
And what about L2s? Because we already on Arbitrum. That was that just started last month.
We have discussion with a lot of L2. We have Arbitrum. The goal for us is to, at the end, expand everywhere, because the usual protocol is need to remain agnostic, need to remain neutral, and so need to be everywhere with a distinction. The problem is more about bandwidth capacity of the tech team, because we don't want to just deploy on all L2 and do nothing on this L2. So we also always try to have some partners in those L2s, like we have done with Arbitrum, and we'll try maybe to grow a little bit more Arbitrum before going in other place. We have a discussion with mainly all different L2s and L1, and everybody is very happy to help us to integrate and to came on. We have great bridge partners, but yeah, the goal for us is to make the more strategic development here on the L2, and we'll try to focus on growth. And so we have to make the good trade-off between going L2 or develop another features for the growth. So it's always a trade-off. And yeah, well, I guess that in the next years it shows that we will be on others L2. Before the end of the year, there is a chance that there will be another L2, but we really want to not just deploy for deploy, because the goal is really to be integrated in those L2.
Yeah, it's not just about, hey, we have 200 blockchain, but we do nothing on them. It's like, what's the point? Anyone say and?
No, and on Arbitrum, for example, we hadn't the time to develop all the partner we already had and want to work with us. So we'll try to expand more on Arbitrum in the next weeks, and maybe doing something with Pendle on Arbitrum also, because we have very good relationship. But yeah, right now the goal clearly is to expand.
That's good, yeah. And I know Arbitrum, and I know there's already a number of other punches that are ready. We just had to put the pause button. And the last question, the most important question I want to say, like everyone's probably thinking about, Usual. Like, why should you hold Usual?
Usual because you will be directly exposed to the growth of the protocol. It's like having a part of Tether when Tether was only 300 million market cap stablecoin. So our goal is to be bigger and bigger. We'll make all our energy to grow the protocol, and we have a lot of surprise, I would say, to make the protocol even bigger. We think that we have a more fair model than most of the stablecoin project, and we think that we could grow a lot. And if you hold Usual, you will hold the future of Usual in certain way. So I repeat, there is like staking. You will be able to earn some reward. There is the Gauge and like services provided by people that hold the token. There will be some logic of future revenue distribution, stuff like that. There's a lot of value we want to give to the Usual protocol because it's really like the representation of the protocol. It's and we like to say that we have like a proof of revenue protocol because Usual is only emitted where there is revenue for the protocol. So there is like no real dilution like other protocol, because if there is no revenue, there is no Usual that are printed. And the goal was always to keep that. So by holding Usual, theoretically, you hold something that had true underlying value, and we'll try to keep that. And by being an early holder of Usual, there will be some bonus on the staking because we want to reward also early adopters. And we really think that it's a big opportunities for people that think that there is some room for new stablecoin actor, new fiat-backed decentralized stablecoin actor, and that we are good at execution, and that we are good in what we are doing, and that the growth will continue. And if these conditions are met, I guess you should hold some Usual.
I would certainly think so. Quick thing also from Zach, would there be perps for Usual? Perps, do you mean perpetuals?
We don't have any. We don't have any information on that at the moment, to be honest. So I cannot say yes because I don't have the information.
I mean, for me, it's simple. It is like we saw that BitGet and XT, and then they do without us. So that who knows? This is DeFi. Maybe others could do what they want, but what I can tell you, this is DeFi. There's we're getting a lot of exposure. We're getting a lot of traction. So who knows what the future will hold? But at least what we'll do with it, and probably what others will also add. I think that's it. Anything else? I mean, at least there's already a lot of information. I think this has been the time where we say the most things about us.
No, I think we have made a little turnaround, and I guess it gives some view on the future weeks. And we are always here to answer your question, I guess, on our social media or social platform. And there is a lot of surprise in our bags. We'll also publish a lot of articles, papers, etc. So and Zach, what's the TVL target for end of the year? I guess I hope, and I guess we'll maybe reach the billion. It's always the big step everybody should reach, and before we have the 500 million to reach, and I hope it will be in the next weeks.
I do think 500 million is really, I think, conservative target, and 1 billion is what we're gonna hope for. And as I say, guys, it's a personal goal, it's a challenge. Come on, for Usual, let's go 1 billion, guys. Everyone watching, bye. There's also a lot of information that's going to come in the next few weeks. This is the end race. So just like the build campaign is still there, but this is kind of like the end. So as at least said several times over the course of the last 4 months, the build campaign is where you get the best result, the best deal. So do get in there, do get on the launch pool, guys. The launch pool is still active until the 19th. So get in there and then be ready for the launch, the pre-market and launch on Binance. A lot of information, a lot of things happening. Don't know why I'm blurry, but I think that's it. It was great to see everyone. Always great to have you, Adli.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for more.
Perfect. Bye.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.